have. Welcome to Joe's Atmosfere. All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard. We're here for State of the Atmosphere this evening. We're going to cover the finale of Last of Us, and we're going to talk about the Academy Awards, who won them, and the show itself. And we're also going to take a look at an early look at who might be trying to get one this upcoming year for the next year's ceremony. I'm joined as usual with my panel of malcontents, starting with the recovering Das Wolfen. How you doing there, young man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. I hear it's having the results you were hoping for so far.
Yep.
So that's good news. And then, of course, we've got Knock, the maniac that is known as Knock. How you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Good. It was a very good day for me.
Yes.
Yeah, got passed my exam this morning and went to IHOP and had a celebratory pancakes that I didn't really enjoy, but
What?
French toast. I did not enjoy them. Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, celebratory pancakes.
Sometimes pancakes just get too saturated and they just don't taste very good. And I don't know. The syrup gets too soaked in, and I don't enjoy them after that.
I hear you. And of course, we've got the best backup quarterback in YouTube. It's Matt from Small Time Republic. How you doing, man?
Doing good. I do have a little advice for Knock. If you do go out Friday night, with it being, a holiday, early Saturday morning, Waffle House over IHOP.
I tell you what, I can't do Waffle House, and here's why. They don't have cheddar cheese. I don't know why this is a thing.
Wow.
They don't have cheddar cheese. I got to have cheddar cheese with my eggs. And
why wouldn't they have cheddar cheese?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I went to one time, and they didn't have cheddar cheese, so we're never to go again. So,
but I would agree with him on that because that Waffle House seems to soak up alcohol a whole lot better than
bingo.
I don't know why, man, but it just does. All right, boys and girls. Well, to start the show off tonight, we're going to wrap up our review of The Last of Us TV series.
The Mandalorian.
No. We're going to do
The Last
this
of Us Alorian.
The Last of Us Alorian. I haven't watched anything past the first episode of Mandalorian yet, man. I really haven't. I'm into a couple of other series, and that really just wasn't high on my list.
I've been doing the Orville.
You've been doing Orville?
Yeah.
Well, you guys know, and all of us video gamers know that this was the finale of The Last of Us, and I thought it went okay. I thought it was good. I don't know. What did you guys think? Especially Knock. You've played the game. I think John, you've played it too, right?
The first scene, man. Think? The first scene. Couldn't believe it, and it was It was Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
It was the actress.
It was the girl that plays Ellie. Yeah,
it
sure
Ellie's
was.
Voice. There was a couple cameos in there too.
Mm-hmm.
They had the voice actor for the chick you don't like in the second movie. She was one of the nurses that was in the room.
Was she?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The voice actress for her was in there. Yeah. So they
had Laura Bailey.
Yeah, Laura Bailey. So no, but that first scene with Ellie was the real Ellie was awesome.
And
seeing
what
her.
they're talking about, guys, is this part of it right here. She was playing Ellie's mom in the show, and
Recognized her right away, and then you hear
yeah.
the voice, and it was
Mhm.
awesome.
You
That
could
was
tell.
awesome.
You could tell who it was. Yep, no doubt about it. Yep. And this part, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I played the game, but I think this was an add-on. I don't
This
think
was
this
add-on.
was
Yeah,
in the
this wasn't in
game.
the game. No, definitely wasn't.
And what it was is she was getting chased by some of the cordyceps, and she ends up giving birth to Ellie, fighting one of them off, and it was neat, but it made you think that, unlike the game, what's my girl's name that's with the fireflies? The actress is actually the chick that played her in the game too. What is that character's name that's with the fireflies? Is it Maria? No, it's not Maria. It starts with an M though. Anyway, she's the one that's in Salt Lake when they get there. God Almighty! Hang on a second. Marlene, that's it. Marlene. I just couldn't remember that character's name. But one thing I did like about this was, you can ask my wife. We were watching it, and when Ellie went running up in the building, right? And she was like, "Come on, you got to see this." And I was like, "If it's not a giraffe, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be madder than fucking hell if it's not a giraffe." And sure enough, it was. She was running up to get higher up to see the giraffe face to face, and that was a cool moment in the show. I thought. I thought they did the. I thought that they did the finale really well. I mean, other than the opening scene, which kind of, I mean, it's lore enhancing, I guess. I thought maybe she would have breastfed her or something, and maybe that'd be how she became immune to him or something. But she didn't do that. But yeah, that was kind of a gripping scene there where Marlene had to kill her friend. That was that sucked. I was afraid she was going to leave her there. You know what I mean? I was like, no, you can't leave her like that. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on who your friend is. I mean, I didn't say that. Never mind.
But yeah, the rest of it was, I mean, it was the game with live actors. That's what it was. And the part where he goes all Rick Grimes at the end of it, they kind of, it wasn't really an action scene. It was more like, this guy's doing something he really doesn't want to do, but he's got to, right? And they had they overdid it with music. The score came up and stuff, and then of course we got the part that's really right at the end of the show when they're going back to that town, and she asks if he's telling the truth about the fireflies, and he lies to her, and that's we know that's going to cause a rift in the next one. We got some guys in the chat real quick. E. Clay Thomas is here. He says greetings, and he was helping me out with the Marlene thing. But yeah, I thought it was good. I think the series as a whole was good. My only problems with it, we've already talked about, was the third episode not having Bill survive that, so we could get the stuff with Bill and Ellie. And the only other problem I had was them trying to make her look like she was psychotic. You know what I mean? Like she was some kind of violent person. And, she becomes that later on during the story for vengeful reasons. It's not like she was, one of the kids that Carol was telling to look at the flowers kind of thing. It's not like that, but they make it sound like that. And I just didn't like that aspect of it.
I didn't think it went that far. I kind of disagree with you on that one. I don't think they made her look that bad.
Yeah.
I think she was just trying to act that bad, but or something like that. I don't know, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't get that vibe off of it. Not to that extent of looking in the flower.
Yeah.
Extent.
Kudos to the set designer. Because
Yeah.
when they hit that hallway,
Yeah.
And it's just like the hallway from the game.
I think the thing that bothered me was that there was no alarm going on.
Yeah,
and you really get used to that hallway and the alarm in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
with what's her name, going down the hallway every time she goes
Yeah.
into.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. You know that.
Yeah. So,
I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, you don't know about that.
Yeah. No.
Play the game.
I'm gonna eventually.
Can't talk about a freaking
when I get over it,
second
man.
game and
When
not
I get
Abby
over it,
smashed him before he could get there.
right? Abby smash. But I thought Pascal was great in it, man. I thought he was great the whole freaking show, man. I think he was awesome as Joel. And everybody knows by now what's going to happen to him, but he's going to be in the second season of it. It's going to be flashbacks
For about 5 minutes.
Well, right, but he's going to be in flashbacks a lot of the show too. I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of flashbacks in part 2.
There is a lot of flashbacks in the second
teaching
one.
her to swim and things
right.
like that. And so,
my favorite one's the trip to the space museum.
I'm still hoping that even if it's just like a spin-off, whatever, that they do something with Tommy and Joel. Add that. If there was something to add to the lore of The Last of Us.
It's their history, right?
It's their history. Like there's a whole 20. How many years is it? 20-something years, 27 or 23 or something like that.
Yep.
Like I want to see that. That's what I want to see, and that'll be all Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Joel and Tommy. And I want to see more Tommy too.
I'm a Joel fan. I would love to see that. That would be badass.
I think that's what if they don't do it with the second part, which is about Ellie. Mm-hmm. So I could see them not doing it then. But I mean, some spinoff or even like a movie or something for a couple hours that we could just go back and see Joel, younger Joel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be very cool, man. I would definitely dig it. I like Pascal. I like the stuff he does, man. I really do. I think he's a good young talent that Hollywood has found. But boy, man, they're shoving him down our throats, isn't he? I mean, he's all over the place. He's in every show that comes out, pretty much. But hey, you got to hit the strike while the iron's hot. Can't get mad at him for not taking these jobs, man. And he's knocking them out of the park. I mean, Wonder Woman 1984, you can't polish that turd, but he did the best he could with that part, in that show. And
I really got to go watch that Nicolas Cage movie.
I want to see that too. That looks hilarious, man.
Pedro Pascal is the crazy psycho rich guy. That's so funny.
He's a drug dealer in it, man.
He's
a cartel leader or some shit like that, from what I understand. So, yeah, that
I have to try really hard to separate the art from the artist when it comes to Pedro Pascal.
I know.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth is kind of silly, but hey, I love what he does though. I mean, he was great in this show. I can say no wrong for his performance in this show at all. And, I mean, I still think Ellie's miscast. I think they should have gone with a different actress on that. She just doesn't seem to fit, and her acting style could be why I feel the way I do about the psychosis kind of thing that I'm talking about. That could be it right there. Her mannerisms and stuff.
Some of the more emotional parts of it, she nailed. Though.
Yeah,
she did really good.
This last show, they didn't have any hint of that. She was still dealing with the aftermath of
she was
being
way
raped by that guy, and
one.
she wasn't even with him half the time mentally. But loved the giraffe thing. That was badass.
Gotta have the giraffe.
Gotta have the giraffe. I told Rhonda when we first started watching the show, I said, if we don't see a giraffe by the end of the show, I'm gonna be madder than fuck.
Yeah.
And sure
enough
they had it.
You took out Bill. You better not take out the giraffe.
That's it. You better not take out the giraffe, damn
Final
it.
straw right here.
But it's just a great moment in the game. I know I loved it whenever
I saw an article about Neil Druckmann on making changes to the part 2, and he's like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. He's not changing anything about it.
He's not. Look, I can tell you from watching this first season here, no, he's not changing shit. He's not, because he amped up his, agenda of, tweaking the story to where, he can get it where he wants it to be. And, I mean, the biggest tweak he did was episode 3.
Yeah.
And, instead of giving us the cool shit from the game, no, he wanted to concentrate on the boyfriend relationship, so, which, I got no problem with it. It's fine. Just, I'm going to have a hard time watching next season though. But I did see something. What did I see? let me see if I can find it real quick.
Well,
there was. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Druckmann can say that all he wants,
Mm-hmm.
but if HBO comes down and says, "Look, we're not going to have you kill off Joel,"
Yeah,
going to have
I can't imagine he would stay with the project if he did.
Well,
I can't imagine.
and if he leaves, and
I
so
can't see that.
he leaves, but that would not be that bad of a deal if he left.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I don't see that happening. That's too much. Then they would have to literally change the whole story. There would be no chasing of what's her name, Abby, down all across the country, and there'd just be none of it. There'd just be a whole different story. You basically just make it a Legends story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's legacy story. It doesn't count anymore. It's not canon. Like that's what you're basically Disneying it and changing it to something else. So,
anytime you do an adaptation, it's a two-edged sword. You automatically have a fan base built in because it is an adaptation of something that already has fans. But then you're in a box to where if you deviate from the prior source material, you're going to get backlash. But then sometimes from a storytelling standpoint, it may make sense to deviate. So you're going to upset somebody.
Yeah.
You brought the people for the game, so that's what you need to produce. So if you want to create something else, make your own damn movie then.
Yeah, and
you don't want to be in the box. Make your own. Come up with your own idea then.
Right. Exactly. I freely admit I'm not a fan of the second game because of what happened, but it's a great game. Every second of it I played is a lot of fun, but I just didn't like the curve that the story took. That's all.
I was more.
My daughter is in your camp, dude. She loves that game. She is constantly telling me, "You need to finish that game." And I'm like,
There's a point in that game where I was more sad about the dog that I had to kill rather than Joel dying.
Yeah,
because
and that worked into the mechanics of the game too.
You actually meet the dog later. We don't meet him later in the game, but you meet him in a flashback, and it's like, "Hey, Pooch, how's it going, Pooch?" And it's like, "Damn, I put an axe to that dog's face."
Yes, you did. You sure did. And that's one thing they did do with the game. He did achieve his point of making the violence in the game seem more personal because all the NPCs had names.
Yeah, they had names. No, Kyle.
I mean, it wasn't just and I can't find it, but earlier today I saw this tweet that looked really neat. That's too bad I can't find it. It was showing different people. They were guessing who was going to play Abby, the casting of Abby. One of them was Ronda Rousey, right?
She's too old.
I think she's too old too. But one of them, and I got to admit, it'd probably be a pretty good casting, is Florence Pugh. I was like, yeah, I could see her playing that part.
Not big enough.
Well, she's built about the same way. She's just too short. You know what I mean? Yeah, Abby's a big chick. So, let's see.
We all know it's going to be played by John Cena.
Right? John Cena.
Yeah,
that's why we're seeing pictures
Man
of him in a
Randy Savage.
skirt these days, right? Let's see. E. Clay Thomas, so you could argue that Joel deserved to die after what he did at the end of the first game. Well, yeah, you can argue that. And that's one thing. If you watch did you watch any of the post episode things that they had on HBO?
No, I never did.
Well, that's one of the things that they mentioned, that half of one of the questions that is constantly brought up when talking about the ending of the first game is, was Joel right to do what he did? And it's been their experience. It's like 50-50 right down the middle, that half the people think that he did the right thing saving Ellie, and half the people think he did the wrong thing. The what is it in the Wrath of Khan? The needs of the many outweigh the few, or the one, right? That's the way a lot of people felt about it. So,
well, the problem was they didn't tell Ellie that it was going to kill her.
Yeah,
they should have given her that opportunity to know, hey, look, this is, this, you're going to save everybody,
right?
But it's going to cost you your life.
But Joel didn't give her that, decision either. That was the other. That's why she felt betrayed.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
it goes both ways.
and you're right. They should have told her. They should have told her. And you know, there may be some people say, well, how do we know they didn't tell her? Well, because when she wakes up, she doesn't know anything about anything, and she's taking Joel's word for what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, so she had no clue what was entailed and what was going on. So, and I think they did give you a little bit more detail that these cordyceps were in the brain, so they were going to have to do brain surgery on her. I don't remember them saying that in the game. I don't remember that.
No, it was just her blood in the game.
They did put that. Yeah, they did put that detail in there, and so yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a good ending to the first season of the show, and John, you're right about the production, because I think the whole season, the production crew made that whole show look as much like the game as they possibly could.
Yeah.
When they went into that town where Tommy was, that looks just like the game the town they ride into at the beginning of the second game.
Yeah.
It looks just like it, right down to the sheep pens. Because, you know, there's that one part where you're playing and you throw rocks at each other and shit, and it looks like that part of the game. I mean, they really paid attention to the details on the production value of it. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. So, season 2, I guess they're going to put it out at the same time next year. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're shooting it now or anything. I don't know anything about it because, you know, after the first episode, I'm you know, it's I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
It looked like they confirmed that they weren't going to recast Ellie to be older. So I guess they're just
which they should. I mean, they don't really need to. I don't think. Stick with it.
I am curious. So now number 2 was actually a pretty long game.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if they would break this one up, because I feel like if they did it this same way in 10 episodes, that they would have to cut out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Well, this was only 9 episodes.
Very long.
This was
right, 9 episodes. If they did it in the same format, they would have to cut out so much.
Yeah, they would.
Number 2 is a lot longer than the first.
A lot longer. I don't know that there's a lot more.
So I think you could put this out into 2 seasons, part 1, part 2 kind of crap, which I hate, but in this case, you know, I would accept it because it's Last of Us. So.
Yeah.
Was there much of a time jump from the first game to the second game?
Yes. It's a few years. She's a teenager in the first one, and she is probably, I guess, 19 or 20 at the beginning of the second
one.
Something
like that.
Yep. Yeah. She's an adult in the second one.
The actress is 19.
Right.
Currently. So
yeah, but you know, she looks like a teenager.
Yeah, she looks tiny.
She's an
it's what they did. So I mean, HBO has the precedent with House of Dragon, right? You know, they have the precedent already where they would, you know, up the, even though the actress for the princess, she was, you know, for the first 5 episodes, but she was 20 something, and they still recasted her for someone that looked a little older. So
yeah.
You know, it looks like it's not going to happen, but it could. They could have done it.
Well, E. Clay Thomas says, I read that it will be 2 seasons to cover the second game. Yeah, you know, playing both of them, I'd have to say that, yeah, they probably have to. Because I know I played that game for at least like 12 hours before I got to the Abby Smash part where you have to play as her. I think I heard somewhere that it's a total of 25 hours if you finish the whole game, something like that.
That's probably
where the first one is like 10. The first one's not that long.
First game's very short.
Yeah. So I think an hour, an episode per hour of gameplay makes sense to me. I don't know. It sounds like they will need 2 seasons to do it. You know,
or they might do 2 short seasons.
Yeah.
You know,
who knows?
Break it up. You never know.
Yeah. Well, don't tell Knock that he don't like that mid-season stuff, man. He don't like that at all.
Just awful.
You want the whole thing, Knock, right?
Right. He wants the whole enchilada. That's it.
No, well, let's not get like Walking Dead where there's 3 fucking parts.
Right, 3 parts to the season.
Yeah. Just end the damn show. Come on, Jesus. Remember when Law & Order was like 22 episodes a season?
Mm-hmm.
I miss that. I miss those days.
I
Now
wish
it's
I
all
could
6 to 10.
see. It's going to drive me nuts that I can't find this damn tweet now. Oh well, I'm gonna have to give up because I will sit here all day during our show trying to find it. But it was really cool. It had a bunch of pictures of different actresses and stuff. And who would you guys think they could use for Abby that you've seen in the movies? If Ronda Rousey wasn't so old, she'd be perfect. She really would be, man. What do you think?
I don't know. They'll probably just get like Gal Gadot or some shit.
Gal Gadot. She's a little too good looking to be friggin'
Yeah.
Abby,
That's
man.
true.
They'd have to do some serious cosmetics on that chick. But hey, look what they did with who was it? Charlize Theron in the movie Monster. She doesn't even look like herself in that flick, man.
Yeah.
She looks like a total crackhead in that movie, man. It's ridiculous. They can do great things with makeup, so I guess that's not really a concern,
What about
Besides
Rhea
that
Ripley?
What about Rumor Willis?
Who's this?
Rumor Willis, Bruce Willis's daughter.
Oh, okay. Rumor Willis. Let's take a look at her.
Oh, the other thing they got to. I see one. Oh God.
What?
Here, I started looking
Go
it
ahead.
up.
Throw it up.
This is the first thing I saw. Let's see. I'm trying to look for it right here.
Uh-oh. What do we got? Can you blow it up? The Last of Us Season 2 casting director realizing they need to find a buff, muscular, blonde woman that is famous enough that she doesn't get death threats sent her way for playing Abby, and a young Asian trans man who is around 14.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What about
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, or have you say it for Abby?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Rhea
she can
Ripley
act.
would be great if she can act. But yeah, she'd be perfect. She's a little too big in the chest, though. I mean, take a look at that picture right there that he just scrolled by. She's got a pretty flat chest, bro. She's almost got pecs. You know what I'm saying?
I just was trying to think of muscular women.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be hard to find them. You know what I mean? It really is. Who is that's got to be an AI picture or something.
No, these are just potentials. I didn't see a name for them.
Okay.
Shannon Barry.
Shannon Barry. Okay. Wow. Let me see. This is.
Oh, there's the Ronda Rousey one.
Yep. Yeah, but Ronda's a little too old for that part, I think.
But Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. That's right. Brock Lesnar. Yes.
I can hear the intro music now.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. This is what Rumor Willis looks like. This is Rumor Willis. So,
You're talking
yeah,
about her
I
as
can
Ellie?
see. I can see what you're talking about with her. Yeah, absolutely. She's got the square jaw down pat, no doubt. Yeah, she could do that. She'd have to strap them puppies down, but yeah, she could do that. What else you looking at there, Nuck?
I'm still just scrolling down, just looking at stuff.
Seeing what else they got? Yeah. But this chick in the game, dude. Florence Pugh. I told you. Jodie. Who's that? Jodie who?
I don't know who that is.
Hang on. Let's find out.
It's one vote. One person voted, so it's not a very big.
All right. Well, let's
Not a
see
big
what she
sample
looks
size.
like. Jodie Comer. Nah, this chick wouldn't work. No freaking way. I can't see this. Hang on, let me blow this up for you guys. This is Jodie Comer. This is Jodie Comer.
Huh.
I guess you could do some makeup on her or something, I guess, but that just she's
I
too
don't
pretty.
see it at all.
Yeah, she's too pretty. I don't see that either. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who they get. E. Clay Thomas says Katie O'Brien is the new favorite. Okay, Katie O'Brien. I'll have to check that out for us. And Florence is too cute. I think, yeah, but I think she's got the same facial structure. She's got that square face that Abby has. Let's see, Katie O'Brien. Let's take a look at her real quick. See, these younger ones, I just don't know, guys. So you got to help me out with this. I don't know. Let's say O'Brien. I wonder if you spelled O'Brien right. Apparently, she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, Jesus, yeah. This chick could do it. Yep. Yep. I'm in that camp already. Hang on. There you go. This chick can do it. No problem. No problem at all. I don't remember this chick on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, I haven't finished the show.
Yeah, she's the. She was in the last couple of seasons.
Oh yeah, that's why I missed it too.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything past the beginning of the season where they were in like a fight club or whatever it was, some kind of interstellar fight club or something.
I watched the couple seasons after Shield was turned into Hydra or Hydra in Hiding or whatever after Civil War or whatever movie it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd be in the Katie O'Brien camp, no doubt. That chick could do it. She looked like she bust somebody up. She looks like a prettier version of Shayna Baszler right there.
She looks like a person that a lot of people could hate.
Yeah. Here's the deal, though. They got to be mentally tough, man. Oh, well, yeah. Here it is. I'm sold completely now. Hang on. Let's see. Let me get this the right size. Yeah. She's even got the T-shirt for it, fellas. She's killing it. What's up? Yeah, she's killing it. Check it out.
Hopefully, casting directors and agents tell these actors that go for polarizing roles, hey, you do realize you will get hate if you get this
You
part.
will be hated on for this. Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it.
Pull the history of that character in a video game and imagine what's going to happen once because all this did was add more fans to the show. So, or to the the story.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have the video game crowd and you'll have the the people that are watching the show.
Yeah.
So
they
be ready.
But you can't deny that Naughty Dog went about a bait and switch selling program on that game. They did. It was just it was horrible the way they marketed it. Made you think that Joel was going to be a big part of the game, and he wasn't. That was very disappointing.
I mean, I am all for that. I don't know. That's not a complaint for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had no issues with what happened in the. I thought it was it was a surprise.
I'm talking about the ad campaign they did for it.
Oh, I don't know. Did they come out and say, "Hey, you're going to play as Joel for this entire game"?
No, but they showed him all over the place in every friggin' ad for it. They did.
Well, because he's a big character, but I think that made it even better.
Yeah.
That he was set. You didn't expect it. That was the point.
Well,
yeah.
So,
I will say I do understand Abby's motivation for why she wanted to kill Joel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's understandable.
That was the whole point of playing her character, was to get to the bottom of it.
I don't have to like it though.
Yeah. But you should play it.
I will play it eventually. It's just not the top of my list, man.
Just do what all the other people do and throw her off the cliff a few times and get over it.
I tried killing her. They won't let you.
No, you can jump off cliffs and things like that. People
get it out of my system and then finish the game.
Yeah.
You would be an Angry Joe gamer.
Angry Joe gamer. That's it, man. That's it. All right. So, final thoughts on this as a series. Are you looking forward to next season? Did it give you everything you wanted out of this season? What do you think?
It was refreshing that I didn't have to worry about spoilers.
Yeah,
that was kind of nice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If they're true to a game, you're not going to have to worry about spoilers. You already know what's going to happen. You just want to see
but you still got to see people that were like, "What's going to happen?" And, that's why a lot of them started playing the video game. Because they wanted to see the story. They don't want to wait. Kind of deal. So,
would you guys recommend playing the video game first or watching the series first?
Either or. They did a good job with the series.
I don't think it really matters. If you're not a video game person, I would watch the series. If you are, then play the game. I don't think there's a whole lot of details that were that different. that would make you care about it one way or the other.
I think the element of the spores could be cool, but here's the thing. I think there's a big difference in this show from, like, say, The Walking Dead. The dead presence isn't as big a thing in this universe as it is on the Walking Dead show. I mean, there was only a couple of shows where we really saw a whole bunch of them. That 2-parter with Henry, right? We saw a bunch of them in that one, but they were really in the background. You didn't see a big horde of these things except for that one episode. I think it was more about the human drama in this one, and I don't know. What do you guys think? That's the difference.
No, I think you're right. I think that they weren't a big a factor in this, and they just didn't have time. I think to really bring them more into focus. It was just about getting her to point A to point B.
Yeah,
in 9 episodes.
Got the mission, and they cut the trip short too. They decided. I guess they decided to keep them closer to that town they were at. I guess that's why they introduced it early. I really didn't understand that move, but hey, maybe it made it easier to put Tommy somewhere and have them have some kind of link, so you wouldn't, think anything was amiss.
I guess the biggest thing would be you might not get as attached to these characters as you would of the game because of the amount of time you're spent with them.
Right.
That's a good
point. Things that you do, like just things like she can't swim, and part of the game is you swimming in the water as Joel, grabbing platform for her to jump onto and getting her across the water, and then that becomes a huge thing when in a flashback in the second game where you teach her to swim. Or when Joel's teaching her to swim. So I think there are some elements that were because of the speed and it had only 9 episodes that there was a lot of things that they had to skip out on as far as them progressing through their relationship. And then maybe they'll cover more of it in the second season with the flashbacks. But so I would say that's probably the biggest thing between the game and the show is just how short it was, really.
Yeah,
compared to the game.
And I think while it's certainly not the first video game adaptation, I think this could spawn more.
Yeah. Look, it really in the past, video game adaptations have not done well. They just don't. And this one, the way they did it, I mean, we've talked about the few changes between the two. If you stay loyal to a game, you could definitely get a new audience because there's a reason why a lot of people played this. And this is a game I've told you guys before. I don't usually play stealth games. I don't like that. Yeah. I like just storming in and punching people out and stuff like that. But I played it in this game because the story was so damn good. And it would be nice to see them do some decent, adaptations. Since you brought that up, what games would you like to see adapted in this kind of format?
GTA.
Could you imagine if they made a GTA series? Everybody would watch that son of a bitch, boy.
Isn't that basically Funny Guy or what?
Imagine if they made a GTA series and put the kind of talent behind it like they did with The Sopranos. Imagine what that would be like, dude.
I don't think you could do it. I think it'd be too expensive.
You think?
I think too many explosions, and it'd be too expensive. They'd be spending all their money on explosives.
Yes.
If they want it to be a true Grand Theft Auto game, it would be too much money on explosive, fast cars, helicopters,
headhunters.
Tanks.
Yeah,
just I don't know. It'd just be.
E. Clay Thomas said the show could have used more zombie killing.
Hey, they're not zombies,
right? They're not. They're cordyceps. Come on now, get the lingo right.
Get that out of here.
But
that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, like I said, I think they should have, even if they were going to have the tendril thing be the main thing, the spores, that was a cool thing they could have added to it. A little bit of danger.
I thought the reason they didn't do it was really thin, and it still could have been something that was another way to get.
Guess what, guys? I found the tweet when somebody friggin' got a hold of me. I found the damn tweet, man. Hang on a second. Let's see.
And when you mention spores, the first thing that comes to mind is Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Shannon Barry, of course, we saw that. Ronda Rousey, too old, right? Chloe Grace Moritz.
No way.
She's too pretty. Yeah, too small. Alicia Vikander, the one that played Tomb Raider in that last garbage try at doing Tomb Raider. Nah, you want to talk about too skinny and too frail looking. No. I thought she was too frail looking to be Laura Croft. I mean, Laura's stacked. What the hell? Erin Kellyman. She was the one that was on.
Oh, she was in
Falcon and Winter Soldier,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. I could kind of see that one.
She's kind of small.
To do her hair different, though.
Again, they're doing all small women. I don't know if there's a message they're trying to send with that.
Nah. Florence Pugh's name keeps coming. Melissa Benoist, Supergirl? No.
What? Supergirl? No
She
way.
is too pretty. No. That's not going to work.
Too small.
No, I like the Kelly O'Brien one, man. Or Katie O'Brien one. Yeah, I like the Katie O'Brien one. That's the one that I'm really into.
You got to be built.
You got, dude.
Yeah.
It's got to be the gun show if Abby's going to be on there, man. Come on. She ain't swinging that 9-iron with nothing now. Come on now.
That's right.
Yeah, they got to go into the MMA and wrestling world, man. Get one of those chicks.
Yeah. Shayna Baszler could do it if she could act. That's Abby.
You know who gets my vote is what's her name? Gina from what's her name?
Gina Carano?
Yeah.
Wow. Now that I didn't even think about that.
I thought about her, but kind of old.
Yeah,
that role.
She's like Rhonda. She's a little bit too old, but yeah, she could definitely do it.
Someone who wouldn't care about the Tweeterverse, it would be her.
Yeah.
Well, also someone who wouldn't mind taking out Pedro Pascal.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's
the grief you gave me.
Yeah.
Take you out, fool.
Because as far as I know,
I'm not acting, bitch.
As far as I know, he did not, come to her defense at all.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
When all that kind
He
of
threw
stuff
her under the
happened
bus.
with Disney.
He's enjoying his money. Nah, he likes
threw
that
her under the
good
bus
money.
and then made a tweet that was almost word for word the same thing she did.
Yes. You mean about the German soldiers and the Southern
Yes.
soldiers and the
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Well, I am going to watch the second season, and I'll make a deal with you, Knock. Before the next season starts, I will have that game finished. I will finish that game. I will play as Big Mama Pump for 10 hours.
Later became Big Bad Booty.
Just
Very-
remember, when I come on here in a shitty mood, I've played that game that day. Okay.
I just want to know what golf club company is going to do the product placement.
Oh
for
God.
season.
Is it going to be Nike, Spalding? What's it going to be?
Oh
Yeah.
man. It is going to be complete.
Dude,
you
they're
know
going to
they're gonna have a
compete
shot of it,
for it,
like,
you know.
It's going to be like a shot with like the club on the ground with like blood going past it, and like that's the scene. before
Brought
it
to you
gets
by
to black.
Spalding. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be some product placement in there.
That's too good, man. That's too good.
And, and just to diverge for just 1 second, the PGA is, or I guess it may be the USGA, whatever governing body where it would fall under, but they are considering having the tournaments that they are associated with use golf balls that are a little bit underpowered compared to what the manufacturers can make, but just because they're wanting to make the professionals have to work as hard as they've had to work, in years past. And just the technology with the ball, when you meet that with like the current talent of the golfers, they're driving it further than is.
Yeah, the tech's
best for the
definitely
course.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's amazing. And some of the clubs they come up with. My father was using it was a hybrid wedge, some kind of thing. Last time I played with him a few years ago, and man, it was nice. I was like, man, I got to get me one of these, But I don't play golf on a regular basis. I love the game, but my big problem is, man, I get the big dog out and everything goes right. There's a course here. It's a public course called Querby's in Shreveport, and the 10th hole on that course, when you start the back nine, it is tailor-made for me. It's a par 5 that breaks to the right, just past the friggin' greenskeeping place, right, where they got all the tractors and stuff.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I just let it rip on that one because, I mean, I do it in like 4 shots easily. It's a par 5, and I just let it rip on that one because it's tailor made for me. But my dad, I went up and saw him, and I hit like 2 balls, and he said, "Okay, put this foot." He said, "Put this foot here, and stop twisting the head. Just make it go. Just put your face level to it." I said, "Okay." And I did it, and the thing went straight as an arrow. And I looked at him. I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, your weight's off. That'll fix it.
Yeah.
Just remember that." So I have to swing with my left foot back every time, and it'll go straight. It's really weird. But he plays every day. His retirement is he is a marshal on a golf course on a Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday when they're crowded, so he can play as much as he wants during the week for free. That's his retirement.
That's genius.
That's what he does. He is a genius. Yes. Yeah. And he still hits in the 80s. This guy.
Wow.
Dude, come on, man. Give me a break. And he's 80 years old. And
So he can almost shoot his age. Wow.
He can almost shoot his age, yeah. But anyway. Okay. So, Last of Us, looking forward to it next year. I'm looking forward to it. Even though I know what's going to happen. They've proven to me that they care enough about the material and they're going to do a good job with it. And so they definitely did with this season. And really, after they do the second game, where's it going to go from there? That's what I'm really wondering. Because
really go on from there.
And we won't get into it because we really don't want to ruin it for people that haven't seen it. But it's going to be strange to see what they do after that. I mean, maybe this is only going to be a 3-season show, who knows? But anyway, well, listen, the next subject we got tonight, guys, is the Oscars. We had the Oscar ceremony Sunday, and I did something that I have not done in probably, I want to say about 5 years. I actually watched the entire show. And we've talked about several times, the pendulum is swinging back, and they really, like last year, okay, I started watching the show, and those 3 chicks, I couldn't get through the first 5 minutes of their monologue before I turned it off and decided to turn it back on to see what the big awards were at the end. I just couldn't watch the ceremony because, and I know I sound like the old bastard saying things were better in my day, but
right.
When I was a kid and I watched the Oscars, it was all about celebrating film. And if you got political up there when you were doing your acceptance speech, they booed your ass. They didn't want you up there. And now, it seems like, you have no credibility with them if you don't do it.
Or if you had someone that was not a Native American, pretend to be a Native American to accept the award on your behalf, like Marlon Brando did.
Oh my God. Yeah. They did crazy stuff.
Not a good move. Yep.
Not a good move at all. But that's Brando. He's crazy, And I really think these guys that are really talented actors, they're nuts. They're nuts either from drug use or just because their creative abilities. They may be borderline nuts because.
Why do you think Joaquin Phoenix did such a good job as the Joker?
Yeah, because he's
the
nuts.
guy's nuts. Yeah.
He is nuts. Yeah. He is actually nuts. Another one, and I love him to death, is Jack Nicholson. But you can't tell me that guy's sane. You see him at Lakers games, and he's losing his mind all the time. Oh man! But anyway, I wanted to show you guys. If you didn't see the ceremonies, I'm going to show you a video that IMBD put together, which is it's a pretty neat little thing, and it's the highlights of the show. It's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds long, so we'll watch it and then we'll talk about the movies that were represented and all that good stuff. And there's some crazy stories come out of this thing too. So let's take a look at the highlights of the Oscars. That's 95. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Apparently, I've got to.
It's Karl Malone,
right? Apparently, I've got to reshare it. the sound ain't working.
I don't know. I found his no sound acceptable in that case.
Right? That's acceptable. But no, he actually tells a pretty funny joke here at the beginning of this. Some of his jokes were good, but he had to, when they had the film editing award, okay, guys, he said, yes, and you could tell there was good film editing this year because they made an insurrection look like a tour of the Capitol.
Yeah.
He put that out there. I was like, dude.
But
really?
he would never do the reverse of that joke.
No, he would not. He
Yes.
would not do. It's got to fit his agenda, right? Okay. Let's see. Volume is up. Yes. Okay. Here we go. And it's not playing for some reason. Okay.
All right.
Look.
Still finding it acceptable. But okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you're finding it acceptable. My God, I can't believe this ain't working.
Apparently, based on what he replied to Kimmel with Pauly Shore, he was the butt of one of Kimmel's jokes, and he had no problem with it, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Pauly's a stand-up. A stand-up should be able to take a joke.
Right. Exactly. I think I know what it is. I got it, guys. Hang on. There we go. This ought to do it right here. And it's still not doing it. Why is this not working? I'm so upset. Oh, God almighty, Joe. You're so retarded.
You said it live, folks.
Yes, I said it live because I am retarded. See, what's messed up about this now, when you are sharing something and only the guy producing the show would know this, I'm sure other people, John, you probably run into this. The first thing you've got is a Chrome tab, and the checkbox is automatically checked. But when you change it to an entire screen, you have to check the box.
Yeah.
It's frustrating as fuck.
Much like winning an Oscar, you have to check all the boxes.
You have to check all the boxes. That's right. Okay, here we go, gentlemen. And it's not working again. Why is it not working again? Okay, I don't understand. Okay, so much for that. I think it's a sign.
Yeah, I think it's a sign.
I think it's a sign. The hell with that. Okay, fine. Whatever. You don't want me to play it, I won't play it, you bastards. But yeah, I hate that because I really would like to show you guys some of the stuff from the
Yeah, I'll help you out. Hang on.
You could just show him talking with no sound, and we could do either Oprah Winfrey's voice or, like I said, Karl Malone's voice, or one of the many people he's portrayed on film.
Here you go. That's what we'll do. Yeah, there you go. Blow it up to full screen. And see if you can.
All right, let me know. I hear it myself, but let me know if you guys hear it.
No, there's nothing there. I don't hear anything.
I shared the audio, so it's not working.
Yeah, there's something on my end that's jacked up. I don't know what it is. That's really weird. Let me see.
I noticed it said best moments from the Oscar. The video's 2 minutes long.
Right, and the 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes long. Oh, shit. Hang on a second. I know what it is on my end.
Oh, I see it on mine. Yeah, okay, hang on. I think I got it.
Yeah, I've got it.
You were doing the window tab, not the full screen tab.
Right.
That's what I did too.
Okay.
That's so dumb.
It is dumb.
Because there's no audio button for the window one.
It is so dumb. This whole thing is dumb. Let me see.
But not as dumb as Jimmy Kimmel.
Not as dumb as Jimmy Kimmel, no doubt. And we should be hearing something here.
Expert.
There it goes. Can you hear it now?
So you can
Yeah.
Okay, good.
access.
If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor.
You had to go there.
And the Oscar goes to
Short round.
Or something you have to believe in. I almost gave up on mine. To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive.
RRR has to win, pride of every Indian, and must put me on the top of the world.
That was awesome. I'll
Without
explain that in a
visual
minute.
effects.
Okay,
This is what the bear would look like.
Thank you to the Academy for recognizing the
Bear's clean. That's
superhero
good.
that is a Black woman.
Jamie Lee. My mother and my father were both nominated for Oscars in different categories. I just won an Oscar.
Is that her first?
Yes.
I heard about this one. Gaga without makeup.
Oh, Gaga, she knocked it out of the park, dude.
So this is what the multiverse looks like. Oh. Everything, everywhere.
Everything, everywhere.
Everything, everywhere.
These are teachers that changed my life, most of them public school teachers. Miss Dumeier, Mr. Toole, Mr. Hudson, you guys educated me, you inspired me, and you taught me to be less of a butthead.
There is greatness in every single person. You have a genius that is waiting to erupt, so you just need to find the right people to unlock that. Thank you so much to everyone who has unlocked my genius.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, dreams do come true. And ladies, don't let anybody tell you you are ever past your prime. Never give up.
Yeah, she's 60.
Don Lemon dig there.
Yep. Most definitely.
James Hong was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's, I think, 94.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think he was a producer on it because he was walking around with a statuette at the end of the show when they were doing the post show stuff. He was walking around with one in his hand, and he must have been a producer on it. I mean, when they got up there, you see how many people were on the stage, and he's holding one right there. Hang on, let me put it on the screen where everybody can see it here. This is everybody that was on the stage whenever they won for Best Picture, and there he is right there, James Hong with his Academy Award right there. So he must have been a producer on the show. But it was not a competition this year; it was a coronation. Pretty much, it won every award it was up for in the when it came to the major awards. Now, when it came to the technical stuff. The second biggest winner of the night was All Quiet on the Western Front, the Netflix World War I movie. It got a lot of awards. I was kind of fearful for this flick because I was pulling for this one big time because I am a big fan of this movie.
I would think the success of 1917 probably helped get some juice behind the production of that.
I did not
getting
like
that made.
1917. Didn't like it at all.
I haven't seen it yet. So.
I did
like
not like
1917.
I thought it was a bitch fest.
I'm not a fan of the World War I movies. I'm just not.
I'm not a fan of the crybabies.
I've seen the original All Quiet on the Western Front, the one from like the early 30s.
Right.
It was good. I mean, especially for...
Haven't they remade that 3 times?
Yeah,
they got
one in the 70s with John Boy.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then this one. I haven't seen this new one yet. I'm going to watch it, but... notably missing from the awards this year was Tom Cruise and James Cameron. The two guys that basically saved Hollywood this year, with box office receipts and putting asses in seats, they weren't at the awards. They didn't even come.
And both those movies just won like technical awards.
Yeah. I think Top Gun won for sound. And Avatar got the special effects award, achievement in special effects.
That's fair in the sense that both those movies needed to be awarded something, in my opinion. Although, in my opinion, Avatar 2, I like Top Gun Maverick better than Avatar 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either of them.
I felt like Avatar 2, they could have shaved off 20 minutes of it, and it would have still been
I haven't watched Avatar 2 yet.
No, I'm waiting for it to go on Disney Plus.
Yeah, when it goes on Disney Plus, I'm gonna watch it. And it's not, and I'm not hating on the movie. I love James Cameron. I love what he does. I
just stopped caring 8 years ago.
I wasn't a big fan of the first one.
I like the first one. First one's great. It's just 10 years later.
It's a good movie, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It's I call it Fern Gully on steroids, man. It's just that's it's cowboys and Indians, and the Indians win. That's what it came across to me as. But there were several other movies up that could have yanked a couple of these awards away. The only reason why they didn't get Best Actor, the reason why Brandon Fraser won that, is because they didn't have anybody in the Best Acting category get nominated for that flick, or I think they would have won that too.
Yeah.
Because that movie's this good. It's that good. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is fantastic. At its core, it's a movie about a family, but they do a multiverse in this better than Marvel did. I mean, it's
with
really
one
cool.
multiverse exception.
You didn't like the hot dog finger one, man?
That was just
that was one of the funniest things in the show when she was like she was just learning how to jump, and she accidentally I think they said she kind of created this universe where they had nothing but hot dog fingers. It was hilarious, man. That was some funny shit. But it's a great movie, though. It's fantastic. I've heard people say it's a little long. I think it clocks in at like 2.5 hours, I think. But yeah, very enjoyable flick. Huh?
I was just looking up one of the directors. Both of the directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once, they're both named Daniel. And I was looking up Daniel Scheinert because I'd heard he's from my home state of Alabama, which he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd heard that they had get some critical acclaim for some films before Everything Everywhere All at Once. So as I'm looking through his some of his prior films, there's one from 2019 called The Death of Dick Long. So that may be about the the guy in our fandom, Supreme Heretic.
Yeah, right. Could be Drew's demise, huh?
Right. There's really no way to know for sure.
Long. That's too funny, man. Damn. But yeah, but the thing about the ceremony, I tell you what, it was good. They numbers were up this year. They were up 13% from last year, 18.8 million viewers. And I think a lot of people are like me. They watch the beginning of it to see if it's going to be one of these political fest kind of things, But yeah, this one wasn't. But of course, they need to get rid of this guy because he, of course, I told you about the dig he did about the film editing thing, and there was a couple of other times that he can't help himself. He's got to get political, man. But
I don't think the guy has much charisma, to be honest.
No, I think he's just schmo, man. I'm not a fan. I never have been, and I'm with you. I'm in the camp. He's hypocritical, man. The guy that's funnier from the Man Show is the guy that was on there with him. Yeah,
He's
God,
based.
Adam is fantastic. He is great. This guy's just a tool of the establishment.
Well,
man.
and
That's
Jimmy's
all he
background is he was like a shock jock guy back in the 90s on the radio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's where he got started. And for him to try to act so high and mighty now, it reminds me of Stern.
Yeah, that's exactly the way Stern is. Hell, Stern is a hermit now. He won't even leave his damn house.
Yeah. But with both of them, they both are so offended by things now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, have you ever listened to yourself
and
the things that you say?
Right.
Yeah. Get real, pal.
It's come on, man. Check yourself, please. About the only thing I find funny about him is, he's really good friends with Matt Damon, and they're constantly in this constant battle to one up each other, fucking with each other, and it's really funny. I do enjoy that. That's something that anybody that's got a best friend can relate to, man.
I did enjoy. There was a couple bits. One where Ben Affleck came out with, he was like out to here, and he had like one of those wingsuit looking things on, and Matt Damon was inside of it.
Yeah.
And that was Matt Damon's way of getting smuggled onto the show.
Yes.
So there was another episode where Matt Damon had Jimmy Kimmel tied to a chair, and Matt Damon took over hosting the show, while he was holding Jimmy hostage.
Right.
That stuff's fine.
Yeah.
I liked him on the Man Show. I even liked him as like Ben Stein's sidekick back
Yeah.
on Win Ben Stein's Money. But
when he starts lying and he knows he's lying, that's when I have problems with him. It's just, come on, man.
The way he'll refuse to get emotional about certain topics, where you're like, come on, man, you're forcing those tears out. You know,
right? Yeah.
Get
Come on,
with it.
dude. Give me a break. But Cruise and James Cameron didn't darken the doors of the theater. They didn't show up. And you know, that was one of the stories. I mean, now I think they're just making headlines here, but some of the headlines coming out of it was paranoia grips the Oscars after rumors that Tom Cruise didn't show because he knew he'd be mocked. And that apparently isn't the case. He's busy filming Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, you know. And we're talking part 2. Part 1's in the can already. It comes out this summer. But apparently he was just busy. And apparently him and Kimmel are friends. And Kimmel had a bunch of stuff that he was basically going to thank him for saving Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically in his monologue. So that apparently wasn't the case. Another story that came out was Jamie Lee Curtis says she gave her Oscar 2023 statue they them pronouns in support of her daughter Ruby. Now her daughter Ruby is a transgender man that's transitioning to being a woman. And so she, in an interview the next morning on the Today Show, she said she gave it a they them pronoun, or her statuette, which I thought was kind of wild. But you know, hey, when you got kids, you got to love them no matter what they are. You know what I mean? So, and then let's see. I think I had another one. No, this is stuff for later on. Oh yeah, I had a look at some of the fashions. We'll just play this with no sound in the background here. But for me, it was. You can ask Foxy when you see her again. I enjoyed the show because it was not political this year. The one girl you saw get up there and get an award that was black and made mention of it. That as far as people accepting awards, that was about as political as it got, really. The guy that won, the first guy you saw on there, God, I always mess up his name. Ki Ho Kwan. My gosh, his acceptance speech was great. He was talking about how grateful he was that, you know, he had moved to the United States and he thought his career was over years ago when he was a kid, you know, probably talking about when he played Short Round. If you guys don't know that are watching, the guy that won Best Supporting Actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once was the guy that said, "We have no time for love, Dr. Jones." You know, that's him.
And also dated the Goonies.
What's that? Yeah, he was in the Goonies. Yeah, he was. You know, he had a bout with fame when he was younger, but the whole point is, they were very grateful for winning their awards. I mean, the most gratitude I've seen in the last few years was probably when what's my man's name that played Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK. That was his first film role, and he's been knocking it out of the park ever since. He finally won for Gary Oldman. He finally won for playing Winston Churchill in Churchill. And when he got up there, he was just he was nothing but humble and gracious. And he said he was British, but he had changed his citizenship to the United States because he loved this country and stuff like that. And it was really cool to hear his acceptance speech.
Well, and like part of him winning for Churchill,
mm-hmm.
I do think sometimes the Academy will give an award that's cumulative, for lack of a better term. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually I'll pull it up here in a second to show it to you guys to let you know how I did. But I filled out a sheet kind of like the brackets in March Madness. I filled out a sheet for the Academy Awards. Me and my daughter, we went to the Robinson Film Center, which is a local independent film house. It's nonprofit. My daughter spent half her high school years there. Always wanting to learn about film and stuff. And boy, the show that she just wrapped on not too long ago hit the airwaves last night, I think, and it's not getting very good reviews. She worked on Gotham Knights apparently, and it's
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. But anyway, we went and saw Banshees of Inisherin there, which was a good movie, and Colin Farrell could have gotten Best Actor. I mean, any of the guys that were up could have gotten it. But I was not surprised when Brendan Fraser won it, because they love a friggin' comeback story, and I really think he got that because of exactly what you were speaking to. I thought Angela Bassett was going to win for Wakanda Forever. I really did, because of what you're talking about, and a career achievement award kind of thing. Let's see. E. Clay Thomas says, so they were lesbians with hot dog fingers. Sounds like a fun Saturday night for them. Yeah. You just have to see it. It's crazy, man. And he says, I find it too boring to watch, so I watched Chris Gore's live stream. Now, I would have loved to have done that, but I watched it with my wife. So, and she's, she knows I dig this YouTube thing, but she's not as into it as I am. She, when you see her watching, she's really just supporting me, what she watches on YouTube is what to do with her cricket, how to make some cool shit with it. That's what YouTube is for her.
Just don't let her watch F&T.
That's it. Well, dude, I watch F&T. She knows this. On Fridays, the day that I go back, I do most of my work. I work 31 hours at the house. I'm a resident manager. And what I do that day is I just relax. I play video games in the afternoon, and I watch F&T when it comes on, right? And she couldn't stay in the room when that guy was on. She couldn't stand him. She was like, what? Who the hell is this? And I had to explain to her who it was. And when I saw later on that night, I went to watch the rest of it, because I watch as much as I can before I go to work. And then I'll watch the rest of it later when I get up to the resident manager's room when everybody beds down, right? It wasn't up. And I'm like, and then I see that Jeremy's got a live stream going. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Well, how come he's not on F&T? So I get on there, and sure enough, Gary comes on his cast, and I hear the whole story, and I'm like, oh my God. Gary, I thought they'd been nuked, but what it was is Gary put it on private and pulled it down himself.
Yeah.
And
he could edit out there,
and if you don't know what we're talking about, guys, Gavin McGinnis was on the guest on F&T Friday Night Tights Friday, and he whipped out a Whizzinator. It's a fake male member that sprays water everywhere, and he did it live on the stream, and it did not go over well.
No.
But hey, I saw a bunch of tweets about this, not to get too far off the subject, but I mean, I saw a bunch of tweets about this, and a bunch of people were like, worst F&T ever. I'm not watching this anymore. I'm like, guys, relax. They're not going to shy away from this kind of content. I mean, hell, half the reason why they've got Alex Jones on there the first time was to see what he was really like, right. And it turned out to be a great guest, but it just didn't work out this time.
I think Gavin McGinnis was a good idea as far as a guest, in terms of, apparently Gary watches his content.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think Ryan does too. So they knew what they were getting into in terms of someone that does not like geek culture, or people that, play video games or watch superhero movies, that kind of thing. So I think they knew that part going in.
Mm-hmm.
What they may not have been able to anticipate, aside from the obvious,
mm-hmm.
was the fact that, at least from my vantage point, McGinnis was not interested in having a debate, having a discussion.
No.
The whole thing was just his shtick, where he just demeans it without really having a good argument.
Right.
And the only thing that disappointed me was that Gavin didn't really have a good response for any of the.
No, he didn't. He just bashed them
Yeah.
for being nerds. Basically, is what he
Yeah.
did. And he was the big mean football player. Is what he was.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
to the high school guy.
It didn't matter how good their argument was. Yeah.
Right. Etep Wilkins, the place to be reviews. Says, "Hail chat, wanted to stop by and say hello. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. You gotta DM me when you're gonna do that show, man, about the toys, dude. I want to see it." But I think they got their point across. I think even though Gavin wasn't giving into it, they put some seeds in some people's minds that think like he does. You know, especially when you like cars, don't you? Well, we think that's silly, you know,
Right.
You know, that kind of thing.
Sport, yeah,
you like sport, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm a geek, but I love sports, you know, not all of them, but there is a sport I dig, and we're actually looks like we're going to have time to talk about it tonight. And that's what Knock's sticking around for, because he don't give a damn about these friggin' Academy Awards. I can tell you that right now.
I was glad for Brendan Fraser though.
Yes, I was too. I wanted Austin Butler. I wanted him to win for Elvis, because he became Elvis in that movie. He really did. He knocked that movie out of the park. But, you know, Brendan Fraser has been doing this a long time. And I don't think I don't know what it is with him. I don't know if it's mental problems or what. But I don't think he's an addict. But he's had some problems. I don't know if it's personal life or what, but he's definitely bounced back from it, and from all accounts, it's a great performance he puts in. Etep says, "I'll probably be doing an unboxing this weekend. Superfan Adam, how do I pronounce that? Shahan, is coming up to my hacienda, so he'll make an appearance too. That's awesome, man. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. If it's on the weekend, I'll have to either watch a replay or something, because that's when I work, but I will definitely be checking it out, buddy. I was watching his stream the other day on his, what happened was, who was it didn't have a show? Oh, Toxic Tuesday was, John Wick 3, and I haven't seen it yet, and I got to watch it before the new one comes out. I haven't seen Parabellum yet. And so I didn't want to ruin it for myself, so I didn't watch it. So I just surfed around. I went through my subscription, checked out some other people's live streams last night, and went and visited them, said hi to them and stuff. And his was one of them. And he does some good stuff. You guys need to check him out. But to put a cap on the Academy Awards, the show was good this year. The In Memoriam was good. It actually, I call him Mr. Throw Your Panties on the Stage. What's that guy's name? He's not Jimi Hendrix, but he's the modern day Jimi Hendrix, man. He did a cover of American Woman that was a big hit.
And, Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz. He played the piano during the. He showed some of his talent other than playing guitar, you know. And
when you said women throwing their panties on stage, I thought of Tom Jones.
That's right.
Exactly, but he's the modern day guy like that, dude. I mean, he's definitely down with OPP. You know, he likes fooling around with other guys' women. You know, I think there's a notorious story about him and Nicole Kidman. So
I agree, Eclay Thomas. I agree.
What's he saying? Let's see. You haven't seen John Wick 3 yet? Unacceptable. Hey, man, some things fall through the cracks. That's one I've got to watch with Foxy, and we just haven't gotten around to it. That's all.
I have heard you need to make sure to see it before you see part 4.
Okay, give me a break. Let's see.
Unless it's Star Wars.
Right. Etep says, I just did a short with scenes from John Wick and dialogue from Bill and Ted. Oh, how funny. That'll be awesome.
I still like Keanu in Point Break. He doesn't say that he's an FBI agent. You know, it takes him a minute to say the word FBI. You know, he directed out every letter.
FB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much, man. Hey, Point Break to me is one of those perfect movies, man. I love that movie. It is awesome.
I don't think I've watched it all the way through.
Oh, you need to see it, dude. Not that remake. Watch the one with Swayze and Keanu. Okay, watch
Right.
that one.
No, that's what I meant.
Yep.
I know I've seen on
Mhm.
TV every now and then.
Right, you'd be surfing. It'll
Yeah,
be
I don't
on.
think I've
Yeah,
watched it all the way through.
yeah. It's a good one, man. It's really good. But to put a cap on the Academy Awards, it was not so much a competition as a coronation. That it won all the major awards it was up for. I thought the show was really good. They, like I said, you cut the politics out and just go with enjoying film and why people go to movies and stuff, and all of a sudden it's a good show again. You know, but they gotta get a different friggin' host. Kimmel is just it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I just can't hang. You know what I mean? But they did actually have a crisis unit there in case somebody got ignorant during the show. That was he was saying this. You saw the joke he did at the beginning. That he actually made a point at the beginning of his monologue that they actually had those people in the crowd.
Wow.
So they don't want another Will Smith incident, apparently. So
I think the main reason that Kimmel has hosted it multiple times is the fact that he already works at ABC.
He already works at ABC, and that was prevalent. That's the other knock I'll give it. They definitely pushed their product. They had a big thing about the Little Mermaid movie going along with the 100 years of Disney thing. And yeah, but to their credit, they did highlight Warner's 100 years too. But it wasn't as big a deal as the Disney one.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. But anyway, well, let's look at I got a list here of well, first of all, I wanted to talk about what may be up next year and what's coming. A couple of things that have to do with movie news that I found today was that Quentin Tarantino's final film is coming as filmmaker readies the movie critic. He's going to do a movie about the 70s. And if anybody's a fan of Quentin Tarantino, you know this is going to be the last movie he makes. That's what he said. We'll see if he sticks to it. But he said he was going to make 10 movies, and this is it. Apparently, it's going to have to do with a film critic from the 70s, loosely based on her life. And I think her last name was Kale. And so, yeah, it's going to take place in the 70s. And so we found that out today. Also, we found out that Andrew Garfield is definitely going to be in the Frankenstein remake that they're making for Netflix. And I found us a list of Oscar hopefuls here that are coming up for this year. And there's some neat stuff on here. Barbie is on here. It's listed. They're thinking that might be an Oscar hopeful. I don't see how.
Yeah.
Movie about, toys. This one right here piqued my interest right here. The Bike Riders. Jeff Nichols, guy that made Mud and Loving, writes and directs and produces this crime drama about a 1960s motorcycle club that gradually turns into a biker gang as the hippie dream of freedom and equality gets curdled by crime and capitalism.
Oh, it's Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Isn't that what it sounds like?
Yeah.
It's an interesting premise, and Nichols has assembled a very strong cast that includes Jodie Comer, the girl that we were just highlighting, that would be a good fit for Abby. Austin Butler, the guy that was nominated this year for playing Elvis. Tom Hardy's going to be in it, and his frequent collaborator Michael Shannon. And I was checking out the IMDb page, and Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus is in this cast too. So that one, keep an eye out for, guys. It's called The Bike Riders.
I don't know if I see Norman Reedus on a motorcycle.
Gee, really? Do you think he might fit on a bike? I don't know.
I don't know if that's the best fit for him.
But anyway, they've got the musical they're making of The Color Purple on here. That just screams cringe to me. But apparently, it's based on a stage show apparently, that they put
Well,
together.
if they
of it.
want to be stunning and brave, you do race swaps on the color purple.
There you go. We do it with an all Mexican cast, maybe. What's that?
Asian, yeah.
Asian cast. Okay. Let's see. We got Dune Part 2, and Austin Butler's going to be in this one too.
That's going to get like every special effects award. And
yeah, it is. It should get all of that, but I'm hoping it's really good, man. The additions are going to be Florence Pugh and Austin Butler. Florence Pugh must be playing the Emperor's daughter.
Yeah,
that's the only other female.
The Emperor.
Huh?
Christopher Walken's playing the Emperor.
That's right. Christopher Walken is playing the Emperor.
We're going to take over the planets. Get them all on our side.
Give me all the spice. I got a fever, and the only prescription.
So Austin Butler now is in every movie. I see.
But yeah, that's that I'm looking forward to. Michael Mann is finally coming out with a new movie that I can't wait to see because I love his movie making. I think he's awesome.
His music is a big part of his movies.
Yes, big time. Well, he started off on MTV, and Miami Vice was his baby. So, but he really has. Dude, if you've never seen The Insider, which is personally my favorite movie he's ever made, about the guy that exposed the tobacco industry, that movie is awesome with Al Pacino and, of course, Heat. Everybody loves that movie too.
Manhunter.
Every time, the list goes on. He makes great movies. But Ferrari, it probably is about the guys that it's a period piece biopic, and Adam Driver stars as Ferrari founder Enzo Ferrari. So that ought to be pretty cool, man. I like his stuff. Seeing what? Oh yeah, Killers. I read this already. I'm just picking out the ones that really stand out to me. The Ferrari one stands out to me. The Bike Riders, and this one also. Killers of the Flower Moon. And I'm kind of jaded on this one because my daughter worked security on this film when she was in Tulsa before she moved to Atlanta. Martin Scorsese's long-awaited period crime drama is finally coming out sometime this year, based on the best-selling nonfiction book by David Gran. The film is set in Oklahoma in the 1920s, where lawman Tom White, Jesse Plemons, is investigating a string of murders of Osage people after oil was discovered on tribal land. Its complex themes and big budget sweep make it a heavyweight contender in all categories. It's the first time Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio have been in a Scorsese movie together. And that looks like it's got friggin' Oscar written all over it. Those are just some of the ones that I picked out of that list to highlight.
Oppenheimer's.
That's right. Oppenheimer's one. Yes, absolutely. What's the director's name? I'm having a brain fart. The Dark Knight trilogy. Nolan's movie. Yes, I forgot about that one. Oppenheimer looks like it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that one too. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of good movies up next year. Looks like Hollywood is slowly but surely coming back. These are films that have all either started production during or after COVID. So we're actually going to get things back to swinging again. Let's see. E. Clay Thomas says, a Ferrari movie? That's funny. There was a Lamborghini movie last year. Really? I didn't know that. And ETEP says, Small Talk Republic, has anyone ever told you that you bear a striking resemblance to a young Jim Cornette? Oh,
you gotta be kidding me. No,
where's your tennis racket at, buddy?
Yeah.
Where's your tennis racket?
You need to get the racket. Yeah.
I'm sure he's heard that before. I've never said it to him, but I've thought that before.
Now, I've heard Tom Hanks, and that used to be a compliment.
Yeah.
Still,
what is it with Hanks, man? His mythos has changed. I used to be big into him. I loved everything he did, but I don't know. He comes off as creepy now, and I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. This new one, he's got The Man Called Otto. I don't get the point of that movie. I don't know what that's about. So I guess I'll have to watch it and find out. But anyway, you guys' thoughts on the Oscars other than Knock, because he doesn't even care about them. He could care
I like
less.
Brandon Fraser.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And you know
I plan on
what?
seeing that movie. I just gotta find out where I can watch it.
Yeah. The Whale, I'm sure he did a good job on it, because I've always thought he was a very underrated actor. I've enjoyed a lot of his stuff. And didn't you tell me, Das Wolfen, he was pretty good in the Doom Patrol when
Yeah.
he made his comeback? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've always loved the Mummy movies. I've always ranked them just a notch below the Raiders of the Lost Ark movies as far as fantasy type, adventure movies.
Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
It's funny. But yeah, it's good to see him get and like we were talking about earlier, I think that really was. I'm sure he did great in that movie, but I'm sure it was because he's already been in an Academy Award winning Best Picture. He was in Crash. Of course, that was an ensemble movie though.
Yeah.
Nobody was going to get an acting award in that one. Let's see. But yeah, I know. I think that's why I just look at him different now.
Yeah.
Says Hanks is a suspected pedo. Yeah. But I think.
Yeah, I was wondering how many times he's been to Epstein Island.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
Release
His reaction when Ricky Gervais was doing his rant at the Golden Globes that one year.
Yeah.
Hanks looked like he was getting outed or something, man. You know what I mean? He was like,
he gave the.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen to this guy.
The real question is, has Cornette ever been on the Epstein Express?
Right? I don't think so. No, he's too ate up a wrestler. ETEP says he's on the flight logs. Oh, man. All right. Well, any other thoughts about the Oscars? If they stick with this program and clean up some, get a better friggin' host.
Yeah.
Get a better host, and they'll start having people come back to that show, I think.
I don't know that the ratings will ever get to where they were, just because media is so spread out now in terms of you got a million different channels. You've got people that watch YouTube only. You got people that watch streaming services only.
Yeah.
You were never going to have the days of the finale of MASH 40 years ago.
No.
That was sort of the peak because that was before cable really took off. But at the same time, there was a lot of people watching TV at the time. So
people are watching a lot more niche stuff now, and they've got the channels to do it and the resources to do it. And plus, for that, I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm sure a lot of people watch Chris Gore's reaction show more than they did the Oscars. So.
Other than the Super Bowl, there's not a really shared experience that everyone's watching at the same time.
No. This used to be, though. This one used to. Well, yeah. A big show like Game of Thrones, it has to be a big one now.
Yeah.
And you know what? To their credit, HBO has come up with a few of those, because The Sopranos used to be a shared water cooler show too. So, okay. Well, let's hope that they keep the politics out of it. Let's find a young Billy Crystal out there that can pull it off, because that was the last great host of the Oscars, if you ask me, was Billy Crystal. He was fantastic at it. But if they can do that, and with the kind of stuff we're seeing is fixing to come out, this can be a good year for movies, man. I'm going to be back in the theater in a big way. I mean, hell, what do we got this weekend that's coming out? Shazam comes out Friday, right? And then next Friday it's John Wick 4. I got to watch Parabellum in the next week. You know what I mean?
Watching the first Shazam. This last week has been all studying and
but that's over. You're done, man.
Yeah, right.
You're
So,
done.
for a week, I plan to take it back up after this weekend for my next one.
I'm actually going to go see D&D this weekend.
I do want to see that. That looks hilarious.
I got
which one?
There's
D&D,
Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
Oh yeah. We talked
it looks
about
hilarious. I saw that one clip with the skeleton. It was
my theater's doing an early showing on Sunday, so
cool. That one's just not on my radar. I guess I've got too many memories of the last time they tried to make a Dungeons and Dragons movie. That was
Look at the
silly.
trailer; it's pretty funny. It looks like it's going to be real funny.
The monsters are book accurate, so that's.
I don't see a paladin. I have not seen a paladin in any of those friggin' trailers. I have not seen one. Have you seen one? I haven't seen one. They're concentrating on the thieves and the mages and shit, and I'd like to see an elf fighter magic user. I'd like to see a paladin. I'd look,
there is a cameo by the animated series characters.
Really? Cool.
So technically, there's your paladin.
Yeah, true. There is a paladin there. Let's see. Madani, don't get me started on the Sopranos finale. I'm not talking about that. That'll be another half an hour show. Let's see.
I thought my cable went out.
You're right. Everybody thought their damn TVs went out. I'm going to see Shazam 2 this Friday, ETF says, so I can do a live review after I get home from the theater. Very cool. Looks like crap to me. E. Clay Thomas says, yeah, I'm with you on the Dungeons & Dragons movie. I mean, I hope it's good, John. I'm just not getting the vibe from it, man. And it's been my experience when they hammer you with trailers, and they're doing that, they're usually protesting too much. They know they've got to beat it into people. I'm just getting started on Dungeons & Dragons with my 7-year-old. I love the lore. So do I, man. I was watching the Dungeon Delver last night. My buddy Mark is on that show, and he plays it. And so I was watching that last night.
By the way, some of my favorite parts of ETEP streams is when Mini ETEP wails on him.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
You know, another movie that beat you down into it was Avatar, so maybe you're right there. So
yeah, that's it.
I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see. But
yeah, we'll see. But they did. They hammered it. They hammered it. But from what I hear, Avatar was good. That's and the people that I trust when it comes to movie reviews, I'm pretty much the same mind as Chris Gore. I really enjoy everything he talks about. So, and he liked it. So I'm definitely going to enjoy it. Let's see. ETEP, my kid stiffs those damn chops.
Lays them in.
Oh man, dude.
All right. Can we
yes, Knoxter. I know you're dying. I know you're dying. You got something to share with me?
I see the clock going closely to
Have
the
you
2
got
hours.
something to share with me? If you're wondering what it is, guys, we've had a lot of news in the world of the NFL. My favorite sport and Knox's favorite sport. Have you got something for me, man?
Oh yeah, I got the whole list.
Well, let's see. Tell me what's been going on, dude.
This is updated the last hour. The biggest one I saw was the Miles Sanders in the last hour. That was breaking news. He's in the Panthers now. The Eagles let him go.
Oh, okay.
They didn't re-sign him anyways. So yeah, he's a Panther now. Still sort of waiting on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. I was watching Eisen's show earlier today, but they're saying it's up to him.
Yep.
Yeah,
really.
Well, and then he said on the McAfee show that he's essentially just waiting on a deal, which I thought was already done as well. So nobody freaking knows anything.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a vision quest, then I don't know how you see the Jets at the end of that.
Right. I don't know how you see the Jets at the end of that.
Especially when he apparently he was 90% towards retirement before he went into there. And then I don't know, maybe someone was just whispering Jets.
Prove you're better than Favre. Make the Jets go somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the thing too. I got one for you while you're scrolling through there and trying to come up with a. Let's see. Let me find this thing. Here it is. Yeah, the world reacts to the Ezekiel Elliott news. They're cutting him loose. They're letting him go.
Yeah, they did.
They are letting Ezekiel Elliott go with the Cowboys. And actually, I think that's a good decision for the Cowboys.
Yep.
I really do. Pollard has proven that
They put
he's
him on
the
the
better
franchise
back.
tag.
What is it?
Pollard, they put on the franchise tag.
Did they? They tagged him? Well, see, there you go. I mean, he hasn't been himself the last few years.
Browns released Clowning.
Yep. I heard that one too. Yep.
But
hey, the big one this weekend, though, guys, was Garoppolo. He's a Raider now.
Yep.
The Niners let him go. I guess they feel good about Brock Purdy. Or who's the guy that's been injured that they used a high draft pick for? What's that guy's name?
Oh, Trey Lance?
Trey Lance. That's it. They're putting all their eggs in that basket, I
Well,
guess.
and the Raiders moved Stidham. I don't know if they moved him or if he signed, but anyway, Stidham is now with the Broncos. That started
he signed with the
a
Broncos,
little bit for the Raiders at the end of the
Mhm.
season.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Every time I've seen him, he throws a million picks. So
Yeah, he does. No, they just need Sean Payton to fix the Russell Wilson problem. That's all they need to do.
there it is. The Pat McAfee show. He
Mhm.
tends to play for the Jets.
Yep, that's what he wants to do.
The good old Leo DiCaprio meme.
Are you reading ETEP? He says, small time Republic, if he worked that stiff, I'd be complaining to the booker.
Well, one of the reasons I mentioned Bob Holly is he's from my hometown, and actually was on the flight
early
with him.
Slay too.
Yeah, what's funny is I was just talking to my a buddy of mine who's an Eagles fan or ex coworker of mine today. He was like, "Oh yeah, it looks like they're going to bring back Slay." And then as I got in the car, to leave because he's back at Walmart where I used to work, and we were talking football today. He's like, "Yeah, man, it looks like they're going to keep Slay." And when I got in my car, I got the breaking news: Eagles let go Slay. So I thought that was pretty funny.
What were you saying, Matt? They got into something there. What were you saying
I was
about
just say
this?
real quick. Bob Holly and I are both from the Gulf Coast here in Alabama, and he and I were on a flight about 10 years ago, and we actually ended up sitting, on the same row.
Mhm.
And let's just say he was not in the mood to talk. I tried to, talk a little bit, and no, he wanted to read his magazine and not talk. And he, at that point, he already had a reputation of being, a tough dude. So
Yes.
I didn't want to poke the bear.
It's known Bob Holly was nasty. And ETEP says Russell Wilson's married to a garden tool. Ew.
I think she wears the pants.
Yeah, I think she does too. Well, that whole deal with Russ going there, it really opened a lot of eyes to what's been going on in Seattle. He's been coddled, man. And what was the deal with them giving him an office on the second floor? Like he's some damn coach, dude.
Hatchett didn't know how to coach.
No,
so
he just let him get away.
He let a lot of things slide. As Champagne came in, is like immediately said, "No, that's not.
No, that's not
not
happening.
a thing. Not a thing."
ETEP says he gets Jack Murphy'd. Oh shit! He gets pigged. All right, so we got Garofalo. That was big news. Of course, I think we're going to see Aaron Rodgers in New York. I think he's an idiot for going there, but I mean, is there a bigger diva in the league than Aaron Rodgers?
No,
not
okay. Now he's
to the Saints.
He's going to a place where you can't be a diva. You just can't. And there's two places. If I was a quarterback, I would never play for, and that's Philadelphia and New York. I would not play for either one of those towns because they are the cruelest to their players when they don't do well. Man. I hope he's got some thick skin. ETEP says, "All right, gang, have a great night. I got to get ready from a show. Parting shot. Go Lions. Rodgers can suck it. That's right. Hey."
Oh, he had to be happy in that last game.
If they pick up where they left off last year, ETEP, it's not the ceiling is very high for that team. I'm looking forward to what Dan Campbell does, dude. Very cool shit. He said, "Great listening to you guys. It's good to see you, ETEP. Thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks."
Also, Dan Campbell, he's big enough to grab you by the shoulder pads and get your attention.
Yeah, he looked like he could still strap it on and bust somebody's head, man. And you know what I thought was interesting? I don't know if any of you watched the Hard Knocks that they did with them earlier this was it last year or early this year? Because they do it in different parts of the year now. But his whole staff is ex-players. Every friggin' coordinator on that team, every coach is an ex-player. And they're coaching the position they played. You know what I mean? It's and what's funny is go and watch that friggin' Hard Knocks with the Lions, because the offensive and defensive coordinator, they're acting like they're in a competition during practices on the sidelines, talking shit to each other. It's fucking
I
great.
I can't get into Hard Knocks because it's always with the losing team. It's just like, what's the point of this?
Yeah,
we're gonna work hard this season to go 3-11. It's like
my pleasure to be here,
cool.
gents. And Campbell is a player's coach. Yes, he is. He treats them like men, man.
This is a surprise.
That's what's up, huh? What's that? Okay, we back to you now. Hang on. Go ahead.
The Colts cut Matt Ryan. It's crazy.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy. They are picking high this year, dude. They're going to get them a quarterback. This is the first year in a long time that they're projecting that 4 of the first 5 picks are going to be quarterbacks.
Wow.
4 of the first 5, and the Colts.
And Matt Ryan did his job. He got the Colts to a high pick.
Yep, got the Colts to a high pick and got their coach fired. He did his job. Yes, he did. Absolutely. Who did they end up hiring as a head coach anyway? I forgot. Oh, it's one of the Eagles coordinators, right? Was it the offensive or defensive?
Offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
The defensive coordinator went to the Cardinals. God.
Idiot. I don't know what he's doing, man.
Why would anyone want to go?
Lovie Smith should have took that job.
Right.
We already talked about that, man.
Yeah.
Lovie Smith should have a new career as the stopgap coach and just get him through the transition. Right.
Sort of like Wade Phillips. But one way to look at it is get paid while you can. You never know when you're going to get a head coaching offer.
That's true.
Hey, Wade Phillips is 4-0 in the XFL.
4-0?
His Houston Roughnecks are 4-0.
Man.
Nice.
I'm going to have to get my brother one of those mini helmets, because when he saw the logo, he was like, dude, that looks like Pastorini's Oilers, man. What the hell?
Dude, they had the St. Louis game this last weekend, and they had 38,000 people in the crowd.
Really?
Yeah.
38,000 in an XFL game?
Over 38,000 in an XFL game, yeah. It was massive.
No, wait. This is in St. Louis?
St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah, that team.
A lot of carryover, yeah, for sure.
That town
one of the
wants a
perfect
football
cities.
team back there so bad it's not even funny.
They had to do St. Louis.
Well, also, they do have an NHL team, but they don't have an
Blues.
NBA team to compete against.
Nope.
And the Cardinals haven't started yet, so
no.
It
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
a great time to do football there. No doubt. No competition at all. But yeah, they've wanted a team there since the Rams left. No doubt. They weren't expecting them to go.
Yeah, Kroenke screwed over St. Louis.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But anyway, but the Garoppolo move, I think they downgraded quarterback. I think they're downgrading with that move. You know?
And then they actually traded away Waller, tight end Waller, to the Giants.
I read about that today.
Mm-hmm.
So, Darren Waller's new bride, her theory is that Josh McDaniels was upset about not getting invited to their wedding that was in the past 2 weeks. And that was why he traded him. I think she knew it kind of as a joke.
About that, yeah.
But,
well, they just got married and now he's traded.
Yeah.
For a third rounder.
That makes no sense.
But everything, maybe they should call him, I would say, Josh, McMidas, because, Midas touch. But what is the opposite of the Midas touch?
The turd touch? Is
yes.
That
yeah, McTurds. Yes.
I can't polish it. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah,
it's like Austin Eckler.
That guy is the franchise killer, man.
Chargers,
why the Raiders hired him is just beyond. I
was very happy when they did.
Oh, I know you were.
Great day.
Shit, yeah. You're gonna beat their ass every time you play
ruin
them.
that team.
Maybe he'll be like Norv Turner and get 4 or 5 chances.
Oh man. Good
well, they
Lord.
have to because they can't. He's paid so much money, they can't release him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I saw an article the other day. It said is Garoppolo bringing Garoppolo in the last gasp of a dude that's going to lose his job, getting a quarterback that already knows the system, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not the last gasp. They can't afford to fire him. They just they're still paying on this stadium, and no, they can't. He's got.
What's funny is that that's a system, and yet it requires to have a really, really good tight end, and then
they get rid of him. Makes no sense, dude. But then again, now Josh McDaniels has been known to adjust his system for the players he has. Now he did that several times with New England, but as a head coach, he's proven that he just does not know what is entailed there. I'm sure, for instance, Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches ever. I think we'll all agree he's first ballot Hall of Famer. First guy to, I mean, dude. Yeah, I know you're digging it. You're still basking in the glow. We know, but this guy knows how to manage his coaching staff and how to not be a micromanager. He's not a micromanager. He hires the best talent he can get around him, and he coaches to his talent. And the proof is in the pudding.
Too.
Yeah,
he adapts. He's not an old school guy.
No, not at all.
I got Mahomes.
Well, let's do this and that. Yeah, we're gonna stretch him sideways as well as the rest of the field.
We're gonna let him do pirouettes on the field and let him run around in circles. And
let's get rid around the roads. We're confused.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, what is it? 5 straight years they've been in the AFC Championship game. They go every other year. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. But what I'm saying is, apparently Josh McDaniels, he must be some kind of friggin' micromanager that just gets on people's nerves or something.
They're apparently also getting Jacoby Myers and Philip Dorsett, so he's just getting guys he knows.
Yeah, he's pulling in guys he knows
for the Patriots. Yep.
Yeah, and I hate to tell you, look, I love Bill Belichick and everything, but that's a micromanager that's lucky enough to be able to have gotten a guy that was of the same mind as him, and that's why he had so much success. Now, he's a good defensive coordinator. They're always going to have a good defense, but I don't think the Patriots are going to do anything until he's gone. I just don't see it.
Yep. You think anyone's going to try to get what's his name, Lamar Jackson? Think anyone's going to go for it?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Let's talk about that before we get out of here. We got about 8 minutes left.
Yeah, he's someone can offer.
They're going to have.
It's one of those deals where they can make an offer and Baltimore can match it. It's one of those kind of deals. I think this guy's doing a big disservice to himself being his own agent. I do not think he's doing himself any favors. From all accounts, Baltimore gave him a killer.
Here you go. Put me in, coach.
Sure.
This is his response to that.
Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. This is his response.
133, 3 years, fully guaranteed, but I need an agent. Did he get a contract?
That was yesterday.
Did he get a contract?
They're negotiating.
Who's negotiating?
He is.
With who?
I don't know.
Sounds like a lot of smoke and no fire to me.
The reason why you need an agent is you need somebody to read the legalese.
Yes.
To make sure you're not getting screwed.
Absolutely.
That's what his mom's for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does Arizona? I mean, how much are they paying Kyler Murray?
I've heard Arizona. I've heard a couple of places, but really, look at the track record. The guy gets you to the playoffs. What happens when you get to the playoffs?
Yeah,
being in the DC area, I hear them all the time.
Yeah,
go after it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they don't have to do it. They just released Carson Wentz.
They did. They're picking high too, aren't they? They're up there pretty high, aren't they?
Not really. I don't think so.
No, they won some games with Heineke last year, didn't they? They're about middle of the road, aren't they?
Yeah, they're about 500.
I forgot about that. They went from being the NFC least to being the monsters last year.
I did okay, but they were almost in the play. They're a 500 team.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, they got shafted at the end of a Giants game,
right?
Where late in the season, where There was clearly a pass interference that wasn't called or something to that
Mhm.
effect.
Yep, I do remember that. What's going to be interesting to me is where he ends up because I don't know. He just seems to be the kind of guy that's very talented. I'm not saying it's a Kyler Murray situation. It's not that kind of thing. This guy can really play. But for some reason, when he gets in the postseason, he nuts up, man. He just does. It's like the pressure gets to him. You know, pressure can create diamonds, but you know what? It bursts pipes, and it might be bursting pipes in his situation. You know what
I
I'm
might be
saying?
misremembering, but the last time he was in a playoff game, his defense didn't do that well.
Yeah.
Not this last season, but because he wasn't in it. But I think the
Right.
last, because if I remember correctly, he did pretty well. I'll have to go back and look. But I guess
Well,
where there was one where like his defense just didn't do nothing.
Right.
The other concern with Lamar Jackson come playoff time is usually by that time of the season he would have taken a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And
Which
that
makes
adds
him
up over
be
the
more
course of the year.
conservative, I think.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yep.
No.
Whereas Patrick Mahomes will be like hopping on one freaking leg and so going out there, and you're not going to stop him from going in.
No,
you know?
no.
He's
It would
pissed off
take
when they force him
it
to
would take crushing protocol to get that kid off the field. No doubt
But
about
hey,
it.
all I'll say is Chad Henne earned his ring.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
On this list, he turned down money to come
Yeah.
out of retirement. He's like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm staying retired.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, it was good to see that. And
That was a great drive that he did.
what it reminded me of was Brady's first Super Bowl season. When Drew Bledsoe had to step off the bench for an injured Brady and threw 3 passes and scored a touchdown. And the good defense and the punt return for a touchdown led him to a victory. You know, he managed the team, but you know, he had been replaced. Everybody knew he'd been replaced, but they needed him, right? And same thing with Henne. When Mahomes got hurt in that game and he came in and led him on a scoring drive right down the field, I mean, I was like, you know, I never was a fan of Henne, but the old guy in me was like, yeah, show him how to do it, dude.
Yeah, I feel like if he wanted that job forever, he could probably have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Mahomes will always be there, and then he could just be like, yeah.
And that's something that
But
Andy,
he got that ring, so he's
once again, that's Andy Reid's operating apparatus, whatever you call it. That
Modus
he
operandi.
always has a veteran backup. Always does, because he knows his quarterback could go down. I mean, Matt Moore was the last backup before him. God, he was farting dust. They pulled him off the retirement couch to get him out there. So and he had to do the job for a little bit too, you know, and he did it fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what happens, how it all shakes out. The South, you've got a whole new quarterback slate out there. We know we're going to have a new quarterback in Carolina. We don't know who it is yet. I mean,
Sam Darnold. Not Sam. I'm sorry. Someone got signed. Who was it?
By the Panthers. The first thing you had up there was a defensive tackle that got signed by him, but you're telling me that my man Baker Mayfield is a Buck now. We've got Derek Carr with the Saints. And
37 million, I think.
Oh, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is Panthers now. That's who it was.
Andy Dalton's with the Panthers. Well, you don't have to worry about that team, Matt. Don't worry about that shit. I have never been a fan of that guy. I never have. They call him the Red Rifle. I call him the Red BB Gun. Who's the other team in that division? Atlanta. Didn't they just get it? Well, they got Heineke.
But they're going
to be
Ritter.
picking. They're going to be picking high. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't. I don't think they gave Ritter a good chance or a good opportunity.
The Chiefs are going to go to this guy named Tom who just retired and offer him a contract to back up Mahomes.
No, man. If we see no, dude, if we see Tom on a field again, it'll be in a Dolphins uniform, and that'll be when Tua goes down. When Tua goes down. No, when Tua goes down, that's what's going to happen. They're going to call him, and he's going to be like, I'll be right over. Because he lives there.
Yeah, I know. I'm making a joke about Tom Brady backing up
I
You
know
need
it,
to
man.
come to
would be
practice?
funny,
No,
though.
just show up on game day on Sunday, and you'll be good to go. We'll get you in uniform, and you'll be all right. Just show up at this time, and we'll be all right.
If the Dolphins called Tom Brady, let's assume Tyreek Hill's healthy. Let's assume that they got all their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think the conversation will go something like this. Oh, geez, I don't. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
They just got Jalen Ramsey as well. They just traded for him too.
My wife is so afraid Tua's going to go down this year and Tom Brady's going to end up on that team. She is so afraid of it because she can't stand him. She's been a Dolphins fan since she started watching football.
So what do you think? So let's see this out. If Tom Brady comes in, right, and wins the Super Bowl with the
I've
Dolphins,
already talked to her about it. I said,
she
she goes, I love it. I'll get the ring, but I'll still hate his ass.
That wouldn't redeem him. A Super Bowl ring would not redeem him. Okay, all right.
Well, you know how back in the 90s they would make those championship shirts where it had like caricatures of the players, like they're like their heads would be big, like cartoonish.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She would get a Dolphin shirt like that and just maybe like cross out Tom's
head put a big
on
a big red circle with a slash through his face and all that shit, man.
Laces were in.
Of course, we may just have to start having an NFL segment, man, because the season never ends. I've been watching it today. I was watching the Rich Eisen show earlier today, and one of their things, they have Overreaction Monday, right? And one of their things they said was, are the Dolphins a shoe-in to win their division this year? And he was like, it's all up to Tua. He said if Tua's on 2 feet, they win their division. He said if he's not, Buffalo still does it because they've got Josh,
The NFL takes a month off, and that's the month after the Super Bowl. And then we start into free agency.
And we start back into it, baby. Yeah, that's right.
I went straight into XFL because that was right the week after.
I'm enjoying it. I'm a little busy with the wrestling show. I have to catch up on my wrestling on the weekends, but I'm checking the highlights and stuff. It's neat. I like some of the stuff they're doing. I like the 1, 2, and 3 point conversions. I do like the kickoff. I think that I'm not seeing as many people get injured on kickoffs because of it, because they're right there.
What's crazy is that if you kick it out of bounds, if you don't even make it to like the zone, you start on your opponent's 45.
Wow.
Yeah,
you're damn near crossed midfield.
If you
from
kick
a bad
it out of
kick.
bounds, or if you don't kick it to the right area, you're penalized heavily. You're basically at midfield already.
Wow.
So the kickoff really matters too. You can't be just kicking it wherever. So it's pretty crazy because they want you. They actually encourage, and that's the same with touchbacks too. They don't want touchbacks at all. Like you either have to do precision punting, or you just have to give it, not kick it that far because they want returns, and then even the gunners can't on punts. The gunners can't run until the ball's like in the air, something like that. So they can't take off right away. So yeah, they want returns.
Wow.
So
okay, boys and girls, we are at the 2-hour mark. It is time for me to start wrapping this thing up. First of all, let's check in with our panel and see how they're doing and where they're going to be at. Starting with my man Das Wolfen. What's up, man? On the mend. Yes,
Yep, on the mend. As always, you can find me on Pop Culture Minefield Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central, 1 p.m. Central on Friday and Saturday. And you can find me here, and you can also find me on Mondays on that 70s rock fan show at 4 Central, 3 Mountain. And that's where you can usually find me.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, John. Thanks for coming tonight. Knock, tell him what's up with you. Where are you celebrating at for St. Patty's Day?
Oh,
now
I don't know. I gotta get with the crew and see what we're gonna do this weekend, if we're doing anything. If not, I'll get some some Coronas and bring it home. And,
by crew, he means Hell's Angels.
Yeah,
that's it.
So it just depends. But if I'm not here on Wednesdays, I know we got the draft show coming up.
Yep.
Which I plan on taking that Friday so I can actually be there for the Thursday night stuff. Otherwise, it'll go too late for me to stay on for too long if I have to work on that Friday. So I'm gonna schedule in. I gotta double check and see if I can get that scheduled off, because now we're down to 2 people instead of 3 in the help center. So just depends.
You got any idea what you want to cover in the pregame for that one or anything like that?
Well, we'll just highlight some folks. And just,
I know we're going to be talking about that TCU wide receiver.
There's a couple guys I want to. Yeah, there's a couple. There's the running back from Tulane too. That was also pretty funny. He's a small little guy. Trent Richardson. He wowed people at the combine. With his blazing speed. QB from Florida. No, we'll discuss some of the players I'll be looking for. I don't know as many because I'm still learning college in general. Last year was really the first year I like fully gotten into it, so I'm still learning. So.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming tonight, man. I appreciate you. And Matt, let them know where to find you on Twitter.
Okay. Yep. small_time3. But speaking of Twitter, there was one thing that I did want to bring up real quickly, and that is the fact that there is a new Twitter account that got started today. The O'Keefe Media Group, started by James O'Keefe, the formerly of Project Veritas. And even though it only launched maybe 7 hours ago, it's got over 132,000 followers in over the course of 7 hours.
Wow.
So that's tremendous. So I think Project Veritas made a huge mistake with their power play of trying to get rid of him. But
yeah, man. Which now? Tell me what's the name again?
Oh, it's at O'Keefe Media.
At O'Keefe. Hang on, I'm pulling
no
up now.
punctuation. But yeah, and that, as far as where I'm at, just typically here most every Wednesday night, and that's about it for me.
All right, man. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it, dude. Let's let you know what's going on with our channel. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, they did screw up firing that guy. That I don't know what Project Veritas was thinking. That wasn't it something to do with? They said that he put hands on somebody or something.
Yeah, I think he had fired previously one of the board members.
Yeah, he had fired a couple of board members and for basically insubordination. And he's also he didn't put hands on somebody. He was just mean to work for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But look, man, he started that thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. That's just weird. Okay. I hate we got into that late because I'd love to talk about that stuff, but I got to get going. So let's go ahead and tell you what's going on with the channel. Of course, you're watching State of the Atmosphere. Me and my friends getting together and talking about, as you can tell, anything we dig, movies, video games, TV shows, football, just about anything under the sun. We do this every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central. And then if you're in the Shreveport Bossier area, you can come see me in person at the Bossier Civic Center this St. Patrick's Day between 3 to 5. I'll be leaving before 5 because I have to work, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 3 because I have to go to work then. But Foxy will be there with me. It's a retail market set up in the Bossier Civic Center, and it's a bunch of retailers that do crafts and art and all kinds of other stuff, man. I got a really nice knife for Christmas from that place. They got outdoorsman stuff and all kinds of things. So if you're in the Shreveport Bossier area, come see me. I'll have a booth there, and I'd love to show you my stuff. And then of course here in about an hour and a half or so, about 9 o'clock, I'll be starting Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, where I play video games for 3 hours on Wednesday nights on Twitch. And then tomorrow, it's the Brothers Hack the Matrix. Me and my brother hacking through the matrix that is the headlines of today to let you know what's really going on. We do that every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central. And I still got to change that thumbnail the way you want it, man. I got to have Brady yelling at him in the ear, right?
Yeah.
I haven't had the time, but I got to fix that. And then of course you can watch me develop my comic book. We're almost halfway through plotting issue 2 of The Privateer. It's going along great. I've started the digital work on the first issue, so yeah, things are coming along on that one. It'll be revealed in July. I don't know if it's going to be digital or hard copies. Not sure yet, but me and Foxy are doing our research to find out how we're going to bring it to you. But you can watch me do that every Saturday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Central. And then, of course, we've got the Dork Side of the Ring every Sunday at 1 p.m., where we break down everything AEW, WWE, and my segment, State of the Apron, where I'll let you know what's going on with the guys that are trying to make it to the big time with all the smaller promotions. And that's all brought to you by Pop Culture Minefield and KGRA Digital Broadcasting. We do it every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And that's about it, boys and girls. So for my guests, John Das Wolfen, Matt, Small Time Republic, and Knock, the Knockster, thanks for watching. And until we see you again, you guys just keep on keeping on. God bless.